Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of the day it is for you. Welcome. This is Chair Yoga with Ida Library. We're just going to go ahead and get started. Hopefully you have a nice sturdy chair. Always have a drink nearby is good. If you'd like any music, you can. Normally in class at the library, I play music, but on these videos, if you've been doing this with us, I do not. But if you'd like to have something, or maybe you just want to be still, sometimes and quiet. Sometimes it's just nice to be quiet and have that silence. So if you need to pause, go right ahead. Otherwise, we're just going to jump right in. I want you to straighten up that spine, roll those shoulders back and down. Hands are just in a comfortable position, whatever that is for you. And as you're breathing here, if you need to change position slightly, go ahead. I have both feet up, but if you want to just put one up, or both feet could be on the floor, you decide. All right, I want you to try to breathe in. Take a few breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Like you're blowing out a straw. It's just a good way to get settled. Start slowing that breath down. And then when you're ready, if you feel comfortable, I want you to breathe in and out through that nose. We want to just slow down that breath, make it a little deeper. Most of us are not taking those nice deep breaths the way our bodies were intended. On that inhale, you should feel that belly filling up with air, that chest filling up with air, and then as you exhale, that chest is coming in, the belly's going in. So if you need to, you could always put a hand on your belly and chest. Try to make that inhale a little deeper. Exhale a little longer. Take one more breath here. Exhale, we're going to drop that head over to the side. Just nice and easy. Remember, you can have those eyes closed if you'd like. It's up to you. But with every breath, just feel like that head is getting heavier. It's just melting down towards that shoulder. Just slowly stretching out that other side. Take a couple more breaths here. One more breath. Head is still tilted. Exhale, we're going to rotate down, just slowly moving. Could always add that twist if you'd like. Today I'm just going to keep my gaze right down at that elbow. You could always slowly start looking a little beyond the elbow. 2 more breaths here. 1 more breath. Exhale, we're going to slowly rotate up. So if you need to, pause at that side position, slight twist up. Not a huge movement, just a very slight twist. We need to stretch that neck out, but we need to be gentle too. So if you feel any pain, just slightly come out of it. One more breath. Exhale, we're gonna roll that chin around to the chest. I'm just gonna pause right there. Nice and tall. You might have slowly slouched a little, so make sure that spine is nice and tall, shoulders are still softened. And I want you to feel as if that forehead is getting heavier and heavier. You should feel that stretch down the back of your neck, onto the tops of your shoulders, down the top of your back. Two more breaths here. One more. Exhale, we're just gonna slowly lift that chin for the ceiling. If you need to, you could always put those hands up for support. Try to really let that head fall back. We won't hold this one as long. One more breath. Exhale, we're gonna look through the center, and then we're gonna slowly drop it over to the other side. Switch those legs. Even if you just had one leg up, switch. Or if you have both, switch. Drop that head over to the other side. You can always change the positions of those hands. Being very intentional about the fact that we're trying to get that ear down closer to that shoulder. Nice deep breaths. One more breath. On the exhale, we're going to rotate down. Just gazing down at that elbow. So same as the other side, you could add that twist if you'd like, but you don't have to. Remember too, maybe one side you do, one side you don't. They don't have to be exactly the same. So just do what feels right, good for you today. One more breath. Exhale, we're going to rotate up nice and easy. Nice deep breaths. Only a couple more breaths here. One more. Exhale, slowly roll that chin around to the chest, and we're going to look up through the center. Nice and easy. Shrug those shoulders if you need to. All right, scoot out to the edge of that seat. Spread out those feet wider than your hips and shoulders. Nice tall spine. We're going to go right into rubbing that bowl. So nice and easy. We're going to make that nice big circle. Try to get down as low as you can. Top of the head is shooting for the floor. And make that full circular motion. When you get to the back, always give that little pause. We're just getting warmed up, so maybe your circle's not as big as sometimes you're able to go. Don't push it. We're just slowly getting things warmed up. Nice and easy. Always give that pause at the back though. One more. Nice and easy. Okay, still give that pause, stretch to the back, other direction. Make sure you're really feeling that stretch through the spine as you really curve it at the back. So you're really stretching through those arms, really tuck that chin. I can especially feel it across the tops of my shoulders, but I can really feel my back loosening up. One more. Nice and easy. Still give the stretch at the back, and then come on up. Nice and tall. Walk those feet together. Take that back, not all the way together, just so they're, those knees are just coming straight off those hips. So feet are spread out just a little bit. We're gonna take 3 nice deep breaths in. Stretch way, way, way up. We're just giving a pause for a second because we're just pausing, stretching out that spine. Palms are out. Get those hands as far back as you possibly can. 2 more. You don't have to be matched up with me exactly. Follow your breath. 1 more. Nice and easy. We're going to work on our balance today, so we will be getting up out of our seats eventually. Balance is probably the most common thing asked for in my classes, so that's what our focus is going to be for today. So we're going to slowly start loosening things up for that. I want you to walk those feet back up, or out again, sorry. All right, we're going to draw that circle with those fingertips. I want you to take a nice deep breath in. Stretch way, way, way up. See, we're still elongating that spine, stretching it out, pause. Then start going. Now with this one, I want you to little by little, every time around, I want that circle just to get a tiny bit bigger. Think about getting those fingertips out a little bit farther, but we're slow and controlled. So really you should be engaging those leg muscles as we come around, as you support yourself. You're using those belly muscles. Stretch way out, but both sits bones need to stay on the seat. So if they're popping up, 1 more. Sorry if I'm a little distracted. Stretch that up. There's either a fuzz floating around from the fan being on, or it's a spider. I'm not really sure. I was trying to get a good look. I saw it when I was upside down. Hopefully it was a fuzz. I'm going to go with a fuzz. The air's on, so maybe that's what it is. Stretch way up. 2 more. Just grow that circle. You need to be going a little bit bigger. Now I'm saying grow that circle, but this would be one of those times, 1 more, someone looking at you probably can't even tell that your circle's gotten bigger. I don't care what other people think. Worry about yourself. Stretch way up, bring those arms down. So just you need to be able to feel that you're going deeper. With all of our stretches, as we're getting deeper with them, all of them are going to be that way, where someone looking at you can't tell that you're making those adjustments, but you're little by little, you are making those adjustments and getting deeper in the stretches. So just always keep that in mind. It doesn't need to be a grand movement or something. All right, 2 nice deep breaths. We're stretching that spine out again. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Always pause and then exhale. Feel so if someone's pulling you in opposite directions. Nice and easy. You could always close those eyes. I know I like to. I like to think about what it is I'm stretching out. I'm elongating. I'm a shorty, so I like to be stretching that spine out. I have great aunts still alive. I know I'm eventually, I'm trying to fight it. Roll those shoulders back. Roll them back. All right, we're gonna go right into a spinal twist. So nice deep inhale, stretch way, way, way up. Exhale. We're gonna just do a nice slow twist. We're not dropping that chin down. So even now, think about that nice long spine and you want that nice straight line. If I drop my chin down, you can clearly see I don't have that nice straight line. Lift that chin up and get that gaze back as far as you possibly can. If you're kind of rounding just a little bit, you've gone a little too far, just come out of it a little bit. Just breathe right here. One more breath. Exhale, slowly untwist. Nice and easy. All right, right to the other side, nice deep inhale. Stretch way, way, way up. You should feel that extra pull through the rib cage, your belly, your spine. Exhale. Nice deep breaths, don't drop that chin. Some of you like to have those arms shooting out, which is perfectly fine. Honestly, you're making it more challenging for yourself holding your arms up. But if you have that hand on the outer knee in the chair, you can get a little more deeper with the twist. So I guess it's just working it in different ways. You decide. Two more breaths. One more breath. Exhale, slowly untwist. Nice and easy. Shrug the shoulders if you need to. All right, 3 nice deep breaths again. Palms are going to face each other. Stretch way up. Get those hands back as far as you possibly can, but you're keeping that nice tall spine. Shoulders are staying softened. One more. Remember, you don't have to be matched up with me exactly. Just go with your own breath. Everyone's breath is slightly different. Shrug the shoulders if you need to. All right, we're going to do some stretching out those shoulders, then we're going to move to our hips. So I want you to scoot out to the edge if you're not already. I want you to lean out on there. We're a slouchy society. I'm already slouching just leaning forward like this. So pull that string, so straighten up that spine. Roll that shoulder back. And then we're going to just do some nice slow circles. We're just working that shoulder, warming it up. Make big, big circles. When that arm's by the ear, give a little extra stretch. So you're trying to have as much twist through that torso as you possibly can. One more. I wonder if my microphone picks up all my cracking noises. Does it? No. Sorry to ruin the magic. I'm not in the room by myself. I used a power washer on Saturday for hours, and that thing was so powerful. One more, all the way around. My shoulders are sore today. Stretch way, way, way out. And I've said it in class a gazillion times. If you don't tell me what your issues are for the day, then or the week, whatever, we're going to go with what my body's feeling, and that's what that's what the shoulder thing's about today. All right. So same thing. I roll over to the other side, and I'm curving my spine. I'm sure you can probably tell. I'm stretch that spine back out, roll that shoulder back, and let's make those nice slow circles. Give that stretch through the fingertips. Nice, slow and controlled. When that arm gets to the bottom, change direction. Give that little extra stretch to the fingertips every single time. One more all the way around. Bring that arm down. Okay, we're just going to hang out here just for a moment. Let that head fall. You could be shaking your head no a little bit. What I really like to do is push those forearms towards the floor while you lift that spine for the ceiling. But if you do that one, only hold it for a couple breaths. But for me, that always feels so good. It hits so many spots. Shoulders, it hits my back, my neck. Let me do that one more time. Nice deep breaths. One more breath. Okay, little baby push up when you're ready. Hands on those knees, tuck in those elbows. Only use your arms to push up. Nice. Shrug the shoulders if you need to. Totally up to you. All right, we're going to go right into a forward fold. And then we're going to work those hips a little bit more, a little deeper, because we're going to need that for when we get up to work on that balance. All right, so come out to the edge of that seat. I want you to really flex that foot. Really think about spreading those toes out and coming back. I was just talking to someone about that the other day. We really need to be strengthening our feet. And I know I say it all the time. So even when you're at home, you really should, if you're just watching TV or whatever, having your coffee, think about just sitting there and just stretching those feet out a little bit. Little bits like that, same with like how we're going to work on our balance. If you're doing little bits throughout the day, you don't have to commit a whole hour to working on stretching and working on our balance. I'm sure I've said it before, even on these videos. I know in class I say it all the time. If you're standing at the kitchen counter or the bathroom sink, just brushing your teeth or whatever, hold a foot out there like we're going to be doing here in a moment, but flex that foot and spread those toes out. It's going to benefit us, and we just naturally we lose that over time because we don't use it, and that's when later in life people have stumbles and falls, and so we just always need to be working at that. Same with elongating the spine. We little by little, our spines just scrunch down. We need to all the time be working at that, stretching out. Okay, I did enough talking. All right, let's fold over that leg. Nice straight leg, flex that foot, toes are trying to spread out. Nice deep inhale. Stretch way, way, way up. Exhale, we are gonna do this one twice. Wherever you land, flat back as long as you can, get those fingertips out, then curve the spine when you can't keep that anymore. We are gonna do this twice. So wherever you land, just stay right there. Don't try to push it. We're not going deeper this time. We're just breathing right here. And depending on how tight you are, and I'm going to assume you're feeling tight right now, then just having that foot flexed and being folding here, you should be feeling that whole back of that leg. Just nice deep breaths here. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Exhale, ragdoll up. So let those arms hang. Just let the head hang too, and then lift that up. All right, other side. Same thing. I just want you to land wherever you land. Don't try to push it. Nice deep inhale. Elongate that spine. Exhale, flat back as long as you can. When you get to your point, then you can curve to finish folding over. You could be reaching for your foot, your leg, the floor. Some of you may not can even go quite this far, which is fine. You may need to have those hands on your thighs for support, which is perfectly fine too. Everybody's going to be different in what this looks like, how far they go. So just do what feels good for you today. Remember too, you don't always have to go as deep as you normally do if you've had any injuries or anything like that. 1 more breath. Exhale. Head's always the last thing to come up. So think about stacking up the vertebrae and then nice and tall. All right, shrug those shoulders back. We're going back to that spinal twist. We're going a little deeper. Nice deep inhale. Stretch way up. Exhale, just let this go for a second. All right, we're gonna go into 1 more spinal twist and we'll be there for a moment. So nice deep inhale. We're gonna go deeper though. Exhale, let all that air out. Nice deep breath in. Exhale, go a little deeper. So this would be one of those times looking at you, can't even tell. Two more breaths. So 1 more chance to go deeper. And then 1 more breath, untwist. Always on the exhale. Nice and easy. Shrug right to the other side. So think about bringing out that wet rag with every exhale. And if you're matching it with your breath, you're going to be able to go deeper, but this would definitely be one of those times someone looking at you cannot tell, but you can feel it. Exhale as you twist. Now you may notice with this one as you go deeper that you might get to the point where you start kind of slightly rounding. You've gone too far. Just back out of it just a little bit. And right now, I know some of you, I said before, like to have those arms out. Right now, I'm really using my leg and the chair to help me get deeper. One more breath. On the exhale, slowly untwist. Nice and easy. All right, we're going back to those legs. 1 more time. And then 1 more thing after that, and then we're going to get up out of our seats. All right, so forward fold. So with this one, we're gonna go deeper. So I want you to think about when you go to do that forward fold, when you think you can't keep that flat back anymore, I want you to give one little extra push with the fingertips and you're really gonna feel that. And it shouldn't be a huge movement because if you do, you will hurt yourself. So please be careful. And then we're gonna forward fold. Then with every exhale, I want you to think if you just blew a little bit of air into a balloon, didn't tie it off, and then just laid it down on the table floor, as that air is just coming out, it's naturally just sinking back down on itself. That's what we're doing with this forward fold. With every exhale, we're gonna try to sink that chest down closer to that leg. All right, here we go. Nice deep inhale. Stretch way up, we're still pausing. Exhale, hinge forward, flat back as long as you can. When you think you can't, you probably couldn't even tell, but I just stretched out just a smidge farther. And then we're gonna fold. This would be a good time to grab that foot or leg to help pull you down deeper. I keep my hands on the floor and then I kind of push with my arms to go deeper. On the exhale, you could always flex that foot a little bit more. After a couple breaths, you could even lift that heel and kind of pull it out a little farther to go deeper. You decide. Play around with it. There's so many different ways that you could do this. Maybe for you, you go one deeper on one breath and then that's it. That's fine too. 2 more breaths. Wowzer, that's a deep stretch. 1 more breath. Exhale. Slowly stack those vertebrae. Come on up, nice and easy. Oh yeah, I can feel that in the back of my leg. And if you are really stretching to your fullest, you're gonna feel things later in the day or the next day. So that's a good indicator on whether you're really trying your hardest. All right, 1 more fold here. Nice deep inhale on this side. Stretch way up, exhale. Get those fingertips out as far as they can, 1 extra little push, and then curve that spine. Just breathe right here. Two more breaths. 1 more breath. Wowzer, stack the vertebrae. That means magical things are happening when you feel things like that. Shrug those shoulders back. All right, we're gonna do 1 more before we get up out of our seats. We're gonna bring this leg up nice and tall with the shoulders. All right, so now I'm bringing this leg up here. If this does not work for you, have that foot resting on the floor, but everyone is gonna have that foot flexed. Everyone is spreading those toes out. Everyone's gonna have a nice tall spine, but you bring it up, hold on to your pant leg, whatever you gotta do, and bring that leg up. If it will come up to your chest, you could start bringing it out to the side. Just breathe right here. Nice deep breaths. Keep pulling it. We're really working that hip right now is what we're working on, but we're still stretching out those feet, working on our breath. 1 more breath. Exhale, round around that leg. So even if your foot's on the floor, everyone's gonna roll the shoulders forward, everyone's gonna curve the spine, everyone is tucking that chin. Just imagine you're trying to get curved down and get as small as you can. Two more breaths. 1 more breath. Exhale, come on up. I know the struggle with, so we're gonna get that hip going. Straighten up that spine. I know when we're rounding that one, so on the straight up one, I still have a tendency to hold my breath on that one. I have no idea why. Make really nice big circles, that foot's still flexed. And then on the curve down, I think because everything's compacted, go the opposite direction. I have a tendency to not take as deep a breaths as I am capable of. So maybe take notice that on the other side when we get ready to do this. Hold that foot out there, point and flex. So when things get uncomfortable, we just don't breathe properly the way that we're supposed to. So maybe take notice and think about that. Roll that foot every which direction. I was talking so much, I have no idea what I was doing with my foot, so I'm gonna, might be here a smidge longer. All right, other side. So same thing. Now keep in mind with this, depending on if you've had any, especially if you've had hip surgeries or anything, one side may be totally different. One side maybe you can get up, one may need to sit on the floor. They don't always have to be exactly the same. So you decide what you're doing here. Get it up as high as it'll go though, and breathe. Shoulders are softened. Sorry, I get to talking and then we hold stuff longer than technically we should. I guess there's no rules though, technically. It's all my discretion of how long we're. Two more breaths. One more breath. Exhale, round around that leg. So this would be that time. Think about your breathing right now. Are you breathing as deep and long as you of a breath that you're able to? Two more breaths. One more breath. Exhale, come up nice and tall. Get that hip going. So straighten up that, see, we want to stay in the slouchy. Straighten up the spine, roll the shoulders back. I really do hope you wake up in the middle of the night thinking about that. All right, that means it's sinking in. Really work that hip, really, really work it. It's gonna be burning here shortly when we start doing our balance. Other direction. Make sure that spine's staying tall. I could feel myself slowly sinking back down. All right, we're gonna get up out of those seats. So come on up. It does not matter what size doesn't matter what size you are either. It doesn't matter what side you're on. All right, so we're gonna be right next to our chair. I don't know if I've done these on these videos, but if you've been in my actual IDA class, I get moans and groans when we do this. So I feel like we should do that today. All right, we're gonna do our starfish. So I want you to come up out of that seat. Now remember, if you're just starting, you're gonna be lined up right with the back of your seat. And you could have that hand on here would be the first thing. You could go down a little bit lower. If you wanna go deeper yet, you're gonna put your hand is gonna land right in the middle of that seat. So I need you to actually line up. And I'm gonna really stress this because in classes, I will tell you that if you're gonna put the hand on the seat, you need to line up right. And I know probably some of you, if you're watching, I'll make you point. I still have people standing back here angling. I need you to go directly to the side for this one. All right, spread those feet out. We need that nice base. We're gonna straighten up those shoulders. What it is we're gonna all in one motion, we're gonna go over onto that chair. All right, nice deep inhale. Arms are coming up, shoulders are not scrunched. All in one movement, we are going over. If you need to adjust, which I do, so I'm gonna scoop my foot out a little bit farther. You're trying to have that nice straight line horizontal. You might not be there. Your line may be right here, which is perfectly fine. If you're able to get a straight line, regardless of what that angle is, I want you to really flex that foot, and I want you to feel as if the heels and the fingertips are trying to really pull in opposite directions. Now I would like it if that wrist, I almost said ankle, is stacked right under that shoulder, and we're not leaning out. We're just real nice and tall right on that side. One more breath. So on the exhale, we're gonna slow controlled, we're reversing right out of it. Nice, good job. And nobody fell. Right, okay. Hold onto that chair if you need to. We're gonna start working on that balance. I mean, that was balance too. We're gonna go a little deeper yet. So what we're gonna do for this one is, this is when that hip's gonna come into play, that we were loosening up. So, the chair's here if you need it. Little by little, you're gonna have less and less fingers. If you are able to, maybe have the hand hovering, just so if you need to touch down with a fingertip or two, or your whole hand, you decide. If you think you can do it without it, I'd like those hands over here. You do whatever you want with those hands. You could have the prayer hands goalpost, cactus arms, whatever you want to call it. You could have prayer hands, Sue Lewis prayer hands, or the straight, I named that after her because that's what she does in class all the time. So now I refer to it as that. Okay, so just to start off, though, I don't care what those arms are doing. They could just be hanging out to your side, whatever you want. We're just gonna get that hip going, but that foot is flexed, toes are trying to come back, and we're little by little trying to get that leg a little bit higher. Now, I don't want the top half to move though. It's as still as a statue. So especially when you're going out the back, I don't want you to counterweight. I want you to keep that nice and tall. You could be going slower, is gonna make it more challenging. You could give a little pause at the front and back to make it a little challenging. So you play around with it and make it whatever for you. We'll go one more time, both directions. All right, when it's out to the front, we're gonna hold it there. If you need to, you could pause down for just a second and then lift up. So if you needed to, you could have a little kickstand and that heel would just be up. So regardless, everyone's gonna have that foot flexed and toes are coming back, so you're deciding whether it's a kickstand or up. It doesn't have to be up high. The fact that it's just off the ground is gonna make your body work. So you decide what you're doing. You might be feeling this leg already, this hip. Over here, I know I am. Which that means magical things are happening over there which need to happen. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. All right, if you need to, you could pause and put the foot down, but if you want to make it more challenging, go straight out to the other side. Holy moly. I'm feeling my standing leg. Change those arms, I almost didn't. Remember, just changing the arm position is making your body work slightly different with that balance. So that's why we change our arms. We get too comfy doing the same thing all the time. All right, remember too, if your eyes are wandering around the room, your body's just naturally gonna follow. So try to find something to keep your gaze on. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Exhale, go out the back. Remember, we're not counterweighting, so don't lean way forward. That top half is staying right where it is. You could have your little kickstand right now and the toes could just be touching the floor ever so slightly. You decide. And like I said, if that hand's by the chair, this outer hand could be doing the different things and this one could still just stay right where it is. 1 more breath. Exhale. Holy moly. Wowzer. All right, so if you're like me and you need to stretch that out after that, mine was really burning. I could feel it. It was working. Straighten that leg closest to the chair and then really push that hip towards the chair. It'll help. You do what works for you. This is when Ed would slowly, in class, be slowly making a circle to work. That's what he liked to do. You could rock it back and forth a little bit. There's like lots of different ways, so you just do whatever works for you. But I'm assuming we're all feeling this right here. All right, we're gonna do our tree pose. All right, so remember with tree pose, we never wanna be putting any pressure on our joints. So no part of your foot should be touching your ankle or your knee. The whole point of this is balance, and you're really working that hip right here. So we really want that knee shooting out. If you try to go a little higher and then that knee is coming in, maybe go back down and just really work that hip, or not hip, your knee trying to come back a little farther. You decide. Now, if you're gonna put your foot on that inner thigh, I want you to think about tightening up those standing leg muscles because they kind of bulk up a little bit when you tighten up your muscles, and it might kind of help lock that foot in there a little bit. You decide what to do with those hands. So we're just working on our balance. We're working on this hip right here. Nice deep breaths. Remember, a hand could be by the chair too. We're gonna take 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. You can do this. All right, slow and controlled if you can. Rock it back and forth a little bit if you need to. Remember too, There's been times where I'll be at home just doing my own yoga, and I've had times where I could not hold the tree pose at all. And I got so aggravated, I was definitely making the problem worse because I was getting agitated. But just depending on what you've been doing and how you're feeling, and things aren't always going to go as smoothly as, so don't get discouraged if you're fumbling a little. Just keep trying and go back to it again. All right, we're going to go to our starfish. So remember, you could be lined up right at the back of the seat, or that hand is going to go there. So please, please be over here. Please don't be back here and then go at an angle. I need everyone to just go completely to the side with that. So spread those feet out. If your feet are too close together, it's very awkward to try to go over. So spread those feet out. Nice wide stance. Nice tall spine, shoulders are softened. We're going to take a nice deep inhale. Shoulders are staying softened though. Pause. Exhale, all in one motion. We are going down. So before we even worry about our line, let's really try to make sure those shoulders are stacked right on top of each other. So you might be out here. I want you to first just think about that, bringing that straight up. If you're able to, have that nice straight line. So even your line could be here, wherever your straight line is. Flex that foot. Toes are trying to pull. And I did not say it on the other side, but if you want to make this more challenging, you could look at your fingertips. I forgot to say that, and I definitely forgot to do it on the other one. So even if your arm is up here, you could even be looking at your fingertips up here. You decide. Really feel that pull between your heel and the fingertips, and you should really feel that extra pull by your hip. Notice the focus on hips today. One more breath. Exhale, slow and controlled, reverse right out of it. Good job. All right, hold that chair if you need to. We're going to get that hip going on this side. So I will tell you that this standing hip is probably going to start feeling the magical stuff sooner because it was already doing its job over there holding itself up. So get that leg going. Now keep in mind too that this should not be fast because we're not using the momentum to work here. If you were going really fast, it would actually help with your balance. Nice and slow. That foot is flexed, toes are trying to come back. Just nice and easy. Don't tip that top half. The top half is just still. So this is the one I was saying that if you're at your kitchen counter or your bathroom sink, or maybe you just pause and hold on to the chair somewhere. Hold your foot out. If you're standing at the kitchen sink, maybe just for a moment, hold that foot out there. Keep swinging that leg. When it gets to the front, hold it there. So, whichever direction of the three that you want to go, just work your balance little bits all day long. You would be surprised at how that just adds up. You don't have to commit that whole hour of working on balance, stretching things. You could do even all of our stretching. You could do little bits all throughout the day, and it's still you're still going to get the same benefit. All right, out to the side. Change those hands. One of my ladies said that her physical therapist told her, which this would be the same thing, to just periodically throughout the day, like if she had tile floor or wood floor, to pick a line and just walk slowly, balancing. They said the same thing of just doing little bits like that just throughout the day. It adds up. So it's the same premise. It does not have to be all in one big chunk. 2 more breaths. I'm sitting here, I forgot to do my hands. Sorry, I'm like, breathe. 1 more breath. Out the back. Nice. So you probably are feeling this already. I know I sure am. On that standing leg. Because it was already doing work on the other side, holding itself up. So I'm feeling it way sooner on this leg. 2 more breaths. You can do this. 1 more breath. Remember, you could always have your little kickstand too if you needed it. Oh, wowzer. Okay, do whatever you do to get that worked out a little bit. Loosen it up a little more. Stuff was working. All right, tree pose it is. All right, here we go. Remember too, on one side could be totally different than the other. We do not have to always have everything exactly matching. We would like to be trying to do that the best that we can, but depending on what things we have going in our body, they might not always be the same. They might be on a totally different level. Totally okay. Find your focal point to look at. They say 2 or 3 feet in front of you on the floor is the good spot to keep your gaze, but maybe for you, keeping it straight out in front of you, but do find one thing to try to look at. I do know if you look at someone else and they start wobbling, your body just naturally starts wobbling too. So, nice deep breaths. If you fall out of it, just go right back to it again. I can really feel the wind really blowing through the room today. One more breath. I'm like a flag over here on a windy day. All right. Rock it back and forth. All right, we're going to do a forward fold while we're here because that's going to help stretch this out back here on that back side. So there's a few different ways we could do this. So we can either, remember when we did that forward fold over the leg, we kept that straight leg and then we were stretching those fingertips way out. We could forward fold and come on down, which if we're doing that, don't stick that rear end out. We're trying to just forward fold. It's like when we do our Warriors series and we grab hold of that chair. We're not sticking that, pushing that bottom way out. This is trying to stay right where it is. It's just our top half that's trying to fold over. If you want, while you're down here, you could be grabbing those elbows and ragdoll. You could be just grabbing the legs. You could be walking to the corners, which if you walk to the corners is great for sciatica. Great for sciatica. If that's too much for you going down that far, you could rest your arms down on the chair like this. This would be fine too. So you decide what works best for you. Or you could be using the back of the chair like we sometimes do. You decide. All right, let's take a nice deep breath in. Exhale. Hinging forward, trying to get those fingertips out, and then we're curving the spine. You adjust your feet to do the distance that works best for you. I think I'm going to ragdoll to start. All right, and I'm going to do the way we do for the one for sciatica, because I know for a lot of people that's an issue. Even especially during pregnancy, that's a big issue, but everybody could use this sometimes, I think. So while you're down here, I want you to walk those hands over to the corner. So let's say it's this side that's bothering me with the sciatica. I would walk over here to this side, and you're going to find, kind of play around with where those hands are, but you're going to find, I say sweet spot, because you're going to find that perfect angle for you that's going to stretch that out. Hold it there, breathe for a while, and then do the other side. Find your little perfect little spot. But it's always going to be, hands are going to the opposite side that you're feeling. One more breath. Exhale. Come on up, nice and easy. So I know pregnancy, that's a big issue, the sciatica. Go ahead, we're going to have a seat in the chair. When I was doing my power washer, I had issues that evening with this side. And the best time for you to really work on that is after you've taken a hot shower and the muscles are real good warmed up, or you could sit on a heating pad for just a few moments. And by moments, I mean minutes. Sit on a heating pad for just a few minutes and then do those stretches, because that's going to get those muscles warmed up and hot, and then you're going to be able to stretch deeper, and it's going to relieve that for you. Not a guarantee, but it should help if it doesn't relieve it completely. So I highly recommend that. I had to do that Saturday because I had issues after the whole power washer. All right. Yeah, I've been getting beat up by my house lately. It's been a real struggle. Nice deep inhale. It's a working good struggle though. Exhale. So all of our exercises have been just over what my house is doing to me. Nice deep inhale. Stretch up. Always give that pause, elongate. We're holding that stretch for just a moment, and then exhale. Feel like someone is pulling. So when you, especially about right here on down, I can feel that. I can even actually feel it a little beyond my elbow. That's what you should, we're not just flapping our arms around. One more time, just for good measure. Make sure you're doing it right. You could always change the directions of those palms. I'm going to do my Spider-Man fingers because that's just adding another layer of stretch to it. Nice. Good job. All right, walk those feet out. Actually, let's go back and forth a few times with those feet. So just walk them back and forth. So go up on those toes. It's very exaggerated. We're just working those ankles. Oh, gosh. After all that we've been doing, I just now cracked them finally. One more time. Yeah, I sound like a glow stick all the time. Holy moly. I don't think we're supposed to sound like that. All right, let's stretch out those arms first, and then we'll walk those feet back out and do what we were going to do. All right, grab that palm. Even right now, though, you should be nice, tall spine. Shoulders are softened. Grab that palm. Pull, pull, pull. You should be feeling that extra pull through here. Really big fingers. Give a little tug. Tug, tug, tug. Remember, this one you should be doing every day. We're just going to start slowing things down. Give that pull again. All right, other side, same thing. I always hold my arm off my shoulder right here like this, but if you have any kind of shoulder issues, you could be way down here is perfectly fine. That's just the way I do it. Nice deep breath, still focusing on our breath. Stretch out those fingers. Give that little tug. Grab that palm again. Pull, pull, pull. So like on this arm, I'm feeling it way up past my elbow, but I've been holding a paintbrush a lot and things like that. So perfect example of we need to be stretching, stretching, stretching. Because that stuff catches up with you. Shrug those shoulders back. All right, let's be very exaggerated. We're going to rub that bowl. So walk those feet out. We're nearing the end. We're just going to do some slowing down things. Nice wide. So we're just going to rub the bowl, but you should be able to feel that that bowl is deeper, bigger around. Make sure even back here you should be able to feel that you can get more curve in that spine and get a little more exaggerated, a little bigger bowl. So nice and easy, tall spine, shoulders are softened. Start your circle. Nice and easy though. We're going so slow. If you think you're going slow, I want you to try to go even slower. You could maybe give a slight pause at the bottom. You're going to feel more stretch in those hips. Nice and easy. Slow and controlled. Always give that pause at the back every time. Slow, slow, slow. Gotta do one more this direction. Then we'll change. So slow. Okay, give that stretch to the back though still. Change direction. Nice and easy. Maybe taking notice of how going the opposite way, how different it feels, if it does feel different in spots. Another thing, just always good to check in with yourself of how you're feeling. Remember too, if you've had any issues lately, maybe you can't go quite as deep as you normally do. Don't push it. Don't always have to do it the same. I know I say that a lot, but it's amazing how people just think that they need to be doing it as deep and last one. And you don't. Give yourself a break. Give that stretch back though. Nice and tall. Walk those feet together. Not all the way together. I always say that, but that's not what I mean. Have those knees coming straight off those hips. We're just going to do some cat-cows and then just be still. So let's actually take that back. I need to breathe. Nice, slow, deep breaths. All this talking and stretching at the same time. Exhale. One more time, just nice and easy. Still getting that benefit of that stretch though. We're just slowing that breath down a little more. Maybe shrug those shoulders. All right, now we're gonna put those hands on those knees. We're gonna scoop up on the inhale as always, so scoop way, way, way up. I want you to just pause here. Those shoulders should be pulled back, the chin is shooting up, curve in the spine. Pause and then exhale. Really curve that spine the opposite way. You're stretching through the arms, you're tucking that chin. Always pause at the top and the bottom because we're just wanting to hold that stretch position for a moment. But with every time, I want you to try to get that gaze a little bit farther back as you gaze up. As you go back and forth, you should be able to feel that spine loosening up. Remember, you don't have to be at the same time as me. Everyone's breath and movement's going to be a little different. Let's do that 2 more times, both directions, and then we'll meet in the center. So whenever you're ready, just go ahead and get settled in your seat. Nice and easy. Maybe both feet are on the floor. Maybe one leg is up or both, you decide. Hands are just comfortable in your lap, but we still have that nice tall spine. Shoulders are rolled back and softened. Maybe close those eyes if you'd like. I'm just going to breathe right here. You could be slowly counting your breaths as you inhale, pause, exhale, slowly count, but add 1 number. Go 1 number higher. Just work at maybe building that breath. You could have a hand on your chest or belly, working on that nice deep belly breath. You decide. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, but I hope that you'll just stay right where you are. Focus on that breath for a little bit. It's just very beneficial to be working on that a little bit. And it's just good to be still and quiet. All right, I'm going to close this out. I'm going to come down through the center as always, just pausing, just a reminder to keep good pure thoughts and our focus on Jesus. Down to our lips, and that's just to make sure nothing but positive things are passing out into the world, and then down to our hearts. That's just to let His love shine for others to see Him. So the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today.